Hey y'all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Gigi. So as y'all can tell by the title, this is part one of my healing journey. So I've been telling y'all that, don't mind me, I got food, I got tissue, I got juice, I got a Capri Sun. I got a little piece of pizza because it might get emotional. But I've been telling y'all for the longest, for months already, like for a very, very long time, that I was going to open up to you guys. But every time I feel like I open up to you guys, I don't get into detail in any of this. And I feel like I'm at a stage in my life that I'm past a lot of things. I'm ready to open up about a lot of things. And this is my testimony. So this is just part one of making peace with myself. There's a lot, and you know, there's change and growth, and I just want to put a lot of this past me. Like, a lot of it is past me, but this is things I've been through, went through, had to go through, and I just feel like I'm ready to talk about it because it already had happened. You know, there is stuff that is like in the going process, but like I feel like this already happened and I just want to share it with you. So I had to write it down because, you know, my daughter always has my other phone and I just had to take it from her and she had a fit. So I'm going to try to make this short because there's gonna be different parts of making peace within myself. So this, I told y'all in the beginning of the year, this is what I was going to talk about when I was ready. So why did I stop speaking to my mother that raised me when I was pregnant with my daughter? That's one, right? Okay. So I wrote down little points of like what I really want to get into. Okay. So I stopped talking to my mom that raised me in like, I think it was like September 2020. And the reason why I stopped talking to her was because I'm gonna sum it up, and then I'm going to like read the conversation. So I don't do this no more, but I used to like go on social media and like, I wouldn't say bash to everybody else, and to her it was me bashing her, but it wasn't. It was like expressing how I feel. And you know, I felt like an outsider. I felt like the black sheep. I always felt that. I always felt like the black sheep since I was a little girl. Damn, I'm already getting emotional. And I haven't even got in detail. So, yeah. So I stopped talking to her because there was a point that I stopped talking to her a couple times. But this major one, like, made a big, like, thing when I was pregnant with my daughter. It was like what she said, and it rubbed me the wrong way. I'm trying to go to my the messages with her, so it's long. I'll put it up here too. I'm not gonna put her name or cross her name out. But so I used to write posts about like how I feel and like, oh, I was raised this way and da da da, and you know, I wish this didn't happen and this and that, like put it my business, but not really put my business. Like only people that knew my family and knew I was raised with and like was around in the household knew how I got treated, or you know what had happened in the house. So it's like I would throw like little things like that, and I wasn't throwing shots. It was just like, this is how I feel, you know. And it was always a problem. Like, I grew up in my household. We grew up like we couldn't express ourselves. We had to keep things to ourselves. We couldn't express how we feel. We couldn't say any, like, you know, we just couldn't do stuff like that. Like, I don't know, that's just how it was. Like in my household, it was that. In my household, we didn't do the I love you. We didn't do we wasn't affection. It was just tough love. Like there was like no affection. We just learned on our own how to be affectionate or like try to find that type of love. I'm already getting emotional talking about it. But okay, so in 2020, this was the, like, I wouldn't say this is the biggest because I stopped talking to her before, but this was like more of a thing. So I ended up writing a post on Instagram, something like that. Yeah, like on Instagram, and my little sister ended up telling my mother, and my mother ended up hitting me up. It would be things that she would like throw in my face that would trigger me, like trigger like my emotion, and like just trigger like just certain things, like, you know. And like for my little sister, even though we was raised in the same household, we experienced different things. We got treated differently. And, you know, I don't know who watches this. In all honesty, I don't care who watches this and goes back and tells anybody, because this is my testimony. This is my story. This is my truth. And I have, most of it, I have a lot of evidence. But it's not about the evidence. It's about just expressing, like, maybe you're going through this. Maybe you have a sister, or maybe a cousin, or maybe somebody out there is going through the same thing and was like me, like couldn't open up because they couldn't express their feelings. So they just sucked it up and just dealt with it and just had to stay 10 toes and strong and just keep going in life. And that's childhood trauma. Like it messes up with your mental, it messes up in your adult relationships. Like, you know, so it's like, this is why I'm finally speaking out about all this. So I'm gonna read this. So when like I said, when I wrote the Instagram post, so my little sister went back and told my mother. So my nickname is Gigi, obviously unique, Gigi. My childhood nickname is Gigi. So my mom was like, basically like, hi Gigi, how's the baby? You feeling, I'm not gonna read everything, but I'm gonna read like certain things that she said. You still feel left out, Ma. I do for you too, and whatever you ask, I'm there. You had a good childhood. Please stop posting things like that. Everyone that knows me knows that my kids are the ones that got left out. Did you ever think of that? You feel some type of way. I do the best I can. I don't see no one helping you out. I got my little sister, got her a car. I got her a car because she got her license first. If you would have, then you would have got too much on my head. I still love you no matter what, and your baby, and the one that's coming. Stop comparing the things in life. I thought you was over that. Like basically grow up, she said. So I wrote back and I said, I don't bother you for anything. I don't ask you for nothing unless I need it and it's an emergency, and you know that. Yes, I posted that. I feel left out at times, or there is a favorite. Okay, that's how I feel, but you know that, and I know T, I'm gonna put T, is your favorite. It's obvious. I'm okay with all of it. I never said I had a bad childhood. You took care of us, made sure we was good, even though there was things we shouldn't ever been around. You right. No one helps me out because I don't ask anyone. Remember, I'm independent. I sacrifice for myself and my kid. I'm handling everything on my own because I know I can. I don't feel like I always need help or to ask when I can do it myself. You're shoving T got a car because she got her license first. Okay, so I'm not mad about any of that because my time will come, and when I do get my license, I'll buy my own car. There's no need for you to throw those things in my face. I understand, but understand me as well. On my post, I spoke about favoritism and getting mistreated. That's how I felt, so I posted it. I'm not wrong for feeling a certain way. I work hard for all the things I got, and I still am while struggling. But I got it. I got it because I'm strong. I love you and I appreciate you as well, but understand me as well. And then she just never wrote, you know, back, and this was in August 25. This was in 2021, actually. So, yeah. So this was in 2021. But I stopped talking to her. Yeah, so yeah, it was in 2021. So she never answered me, whatever. So then, I'm trying not to cry. I'm pretty sure we like would text like here and there, and it was just like, you know, whatever, or like I sucked it up because I would go to my grandmother's, and like, you know, every Sunday at my grandmother's, like, it was a tradition since I was a little girl, like, everybody would come over. So I'm pretty sure, like, I seen her, you know, thing. Obviously that was in 2021. That was in August. I think I was like a month with my daughter in my stomach. Like, I was a month pregnant. So then January 26, 2022, she said, "Hello, Gigi. I'm very sorry that I haven't been there for you and your son. That don't mean that I don't love you, because I do right now. I'm going," like, that she was going through so much and that she misses me and the baby. And not a day that, you know, goes by that she don't think about me or whatever. And that she raised me to be independent, and that she's glad that I'm the woman that I am. And that she said, when you post things that are very negative about me, that you don't want us to see your kid, then I have to respect you. I'm not going to be nowhere that I'm not wanted. The things you say hurt me to the core. I've been to myself, and I'm gonna explain that. She said, don't take things personal. I do this to everybody. That she said it just bothers her that she loves my son. She has to fix herself. I have to fix all the shit. I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart that I don't know why it's getting emotional. She said, I have no intentions to hurt you and the baby. I would love to get out and spend time with you, but right now I have to look for a place. You know, we're not gonna get into, you know, that, but we'll get into like that paragraph. She said, I hope you're doing well, because I want what's best for you. I miss you dearly. Ugh. I promised myself that I was gonna be strong for this video, but obviously it's hard and it still bothers me. So with that, so yeah, I used to, like I said, I used to post things, and obviously people would run back, or my little sister would run back and tell her what I would say and stuff. So as a child, I always like was the black sheep. Like, I always had to babysit, I always had to stay in the house, I always had to do this, I always had to do that. I couldn't really go out. Like, I would go out, don't get me wrong, she would let me go out and everything, but like, it was always me that had to, you know, I was older. I think she expected more from me. And I was a good girl. Like, I didn't do no crazy stuff, like sneak out. I snuck out once, but besides that, with this paragraph, it's like I had to, and she did. She raised us to be like, you know, to be independent. And I think she was just like, so tough on me, because I think she expected more, I think. But you can't expect more when you raise your child a certain way and don't acknowledge a lot of things. You didn't, you know, teach us to find a job. You didn't teach us to drive. You didn't teach us to get a license early. You didn't, you know, there's just like, you know, and I told y'all in another video that I grew up in a household full of drugs. Everybody doing, like, a lot of people doing drugs in the house, and, you know, selling drugs and stuff like that. So that's just the way I grew up. So, okay, so I feel like I get, like, what she was saying and everything, but it's like, you know, I feel like every mom does, like, not every mom, but a lot of moms do want what's best and want your kids to be better than you and everything. But it's it's just the way things happen. It's the way you get treated. And it's not like if it happened once or twice, it happened multiple times. Like, this is since I was a little girl all the way to my adult life, right? You know, I always, like, I'm a very, very, very forgiving person. Like, I guess people will call me a people pleaser, but it was just like, I didn't like drama. I didn't like arguing. I like to sit down and talk about my feelings. Like, I I didn't like being on bad terms with anybody, especially like my blood. Going to my grandmother's, just keeping it away because it was like, oh, I'm gonna go see you in your house. But it wasn't me. She was telling us. She would tell my little sister, and then my little sister would tell me like, oh, what she's gonna bring, you want to go out to ice cream, or she's gonna go over, and then just never show up, like never thing. So and not only that, in that paragraph too, the only reason why a lot, like, once I had a kid, I promised myself that I would be a better mother than both of my moms. My mom that raised me and my mom that gave birth to me. And that I would keep them away from the things that I was around. I don't want my kid around drugs. I don't want my kid to see what I've seen. So I have every right to feel that way. So yes, I wouldn't let nobody babysit my son. I wouldn't let nobody, like, watch him for an hour or thing, because like I went through so much with my son that I just was so protected, and I just was like, I can't let him, and then as a mom, you're gonna think like, what if I let you babysit him and I know you still sell drugs and do drugs? Like, what if you drop something and he thinks it's candy and he eats it and you're not paying attention? Like, I think of stuff like that, and then I'm really gonna, like, I'll go to jail for my kid. So like, I thought of stuff like that. So that's why I didn't let anybody watch my kid or be around certain people, because I couldn't. So then this was still in January. Then it said, I put, well, I just want you to know and say I never ever said you wasn't there for me, because you have been. But I do feel left out. I feel like the black sheep, and I felt like that ever since I was a little girl. I know you love me, but in my adult life, I don't feel like you show me enough. I feel like I showed you that I wouldn't ever leave your side. And I always been there for you through everything. And all I want is the same for my adult life. Don't get me wrong, I used to feel so low. I grew up a lot this pregnancy, which obviously my daughter was in my stomach, and just learned a lot, doing everything on my own and being by myself. So I am past all of that, because I can't change anyone that doesn't want to change. I can only change myself. I'm always here for you. You know that. And it's not that I don't want you around my kids. I don't want my kids to feel or see what I have. Hold on. Okay. I'm trying not to cry, but it's so hard. I haven't read this in so long. And it's not that I don't want you around my kids. I don't want my kids to feel or see what I have. They deserve that, and they don't deserve that. And you might think about my son, but you don't contact him, and that hurts. You don't check on him, and that hurts a lot. That's all I ask for. I don't ask for anything from anyone. I'm doing everything on my own. You don't think I'm stressed either, being pregnant, having a toddler, and doing every single thing on my own. This shit is hard, but I manage. I just think positive and do the damn thing. So then in February 2022, she writes back, because with me, it was always like a month or 2 months that she would write. Like, it was just like that. Like, I don't know why. Like, I get she was going through stuff, but she would talk to other people. She would call other people. She would go see them. But it's like, me, that's not me. Like, if I keep away, I keep away. If I don't want my child around you, I'm not going to be around either. Like, it's just, I set boundaries and rules. Hold on. She writes back off of that what I said, and said, Gigi, why do you always bring up the same thing? You said as a child you felt left out. Do you really believe that within yourself? Because in every pic that I have, you sure was happy. You say you are grown, but you're still... Now, let me say this. This paragraph is the one that, like, took me and hurt me, like,